What's going on, New Canoe Nation? Hope everybody is doing well. Welcome back to another Unlimited podcast. Sorry, running a little behind here, but tonight we got an epic guest. We got Mike Schmitz in the house. We're going to be talking to him, man. He's got a very interesting story. He's one of our regional directors, does a bunch of great work with some organizations. So we're going to hear about that. We're going to hear how he gets out in his new canoe and gets to adventure out. Sorry for the setting tonight. I'm at the home office getting ready to leave on the old rutcation tomorrow morning. So we'll be in the woods for the rest of the week. But let's get the man of the hour in here, Mr. Mike Schmitz. What's up, my man?
Hey, Brian. Hey, man. Appreciate you having me on tonight.
Absolutely, man. I'm glad we're getting to do this, getting to chat. You know, you and I have been going back and forth, and we've been getting this set up. So I'm happy to have you here tonight and hear your story, man, and hear what you do and all that good stuff, man. So to start off, why don't you give everybody a little background on yourself and how you got into a kayak?
All right. Absolutely. I guess I'd have to rewind it a whole lot back to 87. Yes, I'm old, but I had a car accident that resulted in a spinal cord injury. It left me paralyzed basically from the chest down, so I use a wheelchair. Prior to that, I'd always been a big saltwater fisherman. Freshwater just was a waste of time, you know. Put a little bit of salt on it, you can go out, you're always going to catch something, you never know. But that was my big thing. But fast forward a bunch and living inshore, not the opportunity to go saltwater fishing. I wanted to get into any type of a boat. One day I saw a guy coming around a bend at a little public park with a fishing kayak. And I thought to myself, I could do that. So not too long after that, the wife and I went out and found a new to me sit-in kayak, jumped in it, started it, and I've been addicted ever since.
Nice. Yeah, I know you sent me a video, and I want to play a clip of it a little bit later. But kind of, telling your whole story, and it's kind of unique, man. And there's a part in there where you said, when you get in a kayak, it's all back to normal or something along those lines, because the kayak was a vessel, and it didn't necessarily give you, the restrictions you have on land, so to speak. So it's super cool, man. But
yeah, absolutely.
How'd you end up getting into a new canoe? Because I know from watching that video, you started out with kind of like a sit inside, right? And you kind of, bounced around to a couple different boats. So what ended up landing you in a new canoe?
Well, I had done, like you said, the sit-ins. And then I got contacted by our wonderful Everett Park, and he had asked me about the idea of have I tried one of the new canoes. And we sat and talked about it back and forth. And I said, well, I like the security of a sit-inside, just because with my balance and everything, I didn't know if I was going to have to worry about falling out.
Sure.
He brought up a good bunch of good points about the sit on tops. I set up to where I could demo from a local team member here. I could jump in a pursuit. I was amazed at how easy it was for me to get in and out of it compared to the sit-in. And with the big open deck layout, it was just a whole lot easier for me to move around. And then I got to paddling it, and I was absolutely amazed at the difference of how much better a sit on top paddle than a sit inside. So I was hooked on new canoe ever since.
That's super cool, man. Are you still in the pursuit, or are you in an unlimited frontier, or you got?
I did at one point everything, but I've sold a bunch of those off I'd have people come out and demo them, and they're like, man, we can't find these. And they made me an offer I couldn't refuse. So I'm down to my pursuit and plant right now. I do have an unlimited on the way, but the pursuit is hands down my favorite boat. 99.9% of the time, that's what I'm in. That's what I fish my tournaments in, and it's just what I do most of my
now, as you can see, we
recreation.
are in a studio.
Okay, right on, right on.
It's definitely my favorite, but I think the unlimited is going to change that. We'll see.
Well, I've had that argument with a couple people that they're like, I can't get out of my pursuit or I can't get out of my frontier, and then they go and demo an unlimited, and they're like, I knew I shouldn't have done that. Now now I'm switching over and this and that, but to each their own. I mean, they all have their certain perks and stuff like that, So like
They
James.
do. And one of the crazy things is, with the unlimited, because of my lack of balance, I don't want to sit as high as I typically do in a seat.
Sure.
So I'm going to use our Fusion Heights kit to actually lower the seat. And I think that'll make everything good, to where it's more usable for me. But that just is a testimony to the flexibility of them.
Yeah, I just lowered the seat on my unlimited for duck season, and it lowers it quite a bit compared to in the high position without the risers or anything. But I usually use the quick disconnect seat mount, so that way I could slide my boat in and off the trailer super easy.
There you go.
But Robert Weaker says, yes, it's true. He's beat me in every tournament besides one. LOL.
Yeah, Bobby's I think I've just gotten lucky, but I'm just going to go along with what he said. And yeah, I think we're 3-1, but who's counting? But I'll take luck when it comes to that. But the one that he did beat me at was the KBF National Championship, so he knows how to get you where it is.
I hear you. We had Robert on last week. If you guys missed that show, you can go back and watch on Facebook, YouTube, or any podcast platform. Just search New Canoes Unlimited. We got Richard DeVries chiming in, and he's a dealer of ours down at Eastport Marina in Middle Tennessee on Dale Hollow Lake, and he said he had a disabled customer purchase a new canoe from him. Mike was very helpful in answering some questions and concerning seat height. So that's super cool, man.
Yeah, anytime I'm always happy to help out with anything like that I can.
So that's kind of a great segue, man, because you sorry, Robert. I know. As I said it, I definitely screwed it up. But you do a lot of helping others, get into kayaks, find ways to get out on the water, that are in similar situations as you, that may use a wheelchair and things like that, man. So I guess first of all, what are the organizations you work with, and kind of what you do behind the scenes with those folks?
Okay. National Wheelcats by far is the organization that I do the most with. At least twice a year, we try to host a water skiing and adaptive kayaking clinic, and that's here in the Nashville, Tennessee area where I'm at. There is also, I've got an online group, Disabled Kayaking Enthusiasts, which is on Facebook. And we haven't organized a group through that, but we do a lot of information sharing. And we'll have new people come to the group trying to get an idea of what type of adaptations are available, how does somebody get in and out of the water, that sort of thing. But it all started off with me working with U.S. Fish and Wildlife and some hunting organizations, doing a lot of hunting trips and adaptations for people. When I moved to Tennessee, fishing became a huge love of mine again, since I was able to get back into that. And it's because of kayaking, which made such a big impact on my life. So I said, well, hey, let's go ahead and see what we can do to help people get into kayaking with a disability. It was very hard to find information online. So that's when I started up the group on Facebook. We've been doing the program with National Wheelcats for, I think, 4, if not 5 years now. We've got another organization here that we do with United Spinal. And within 2 days, we've put close to 75 to 100 people in kayaks, some of them for the very first time. And anybody that's come out has gotten hooked on it, even if they turtled. So it's something that I love sharing with people because I just love seeing the smile that it puts on their faces.
Yeah, that's super cool. And you sent me some photos, and I'll post those up in a second. And for those watching, and if you're listening on the podcast platforms, I'll put these links in the show description. But I just dropped National Wheelcats web address down in the chat if you guys want to go check that out. But it's super unique, man. I love the fact, it's like teaching a person how to catch a fish, and they catch that first fish, and those smiles. And I can only imagine what it's like, for you, showing others like, hey, you can do this, when a lot of folks think like, because of their situation, they couldn't necessarily do, get out on the water and be independent like that, I'm sure that reward is huge, man.
No, it is. And you touched on it. Education is the biggest thing as far as, yes, you can get out there. We might need to make some modifications to a kayak or, adaptive seating so somebody's got better stability, put pontoons on it to where they feel more stable. We have adaptations for paddles so they can grip the paddle if they're not able to. What you see there is just a simple rolling right down a boat ramp into the kayak. We've got other adaptations that allow you to transfer into the kayak on the ground, and then we can roll it in on what we call a wheelchair or a kayak chariot. So there's lots of different ways that we can help people get in and out of the kayaks and into the water. But like you said, using the fishing analogy, it is once they're in there, they're hooked, and it's just a matter of showing them what they can do and to get them out there.
That's cool, man. That's super cool. I love it, man. Any way that you can, kind of help folks get out there and do something out of the ordinary, no matter what the situation they may be in. If they've just never kayak fished, or if they use wheelchair or whatever it may be. I mean, it's super cool. Is this the wheel cart you were talking about here, where
Yes.
you get folks in on land and then just kind of wheel them right down to the water? That's sweet.
Yeah, what we do there is if they're able to step into it or transfer into it easily enough, we'll do that, and then roll them. As you said, we've got the cardboard down there because of the grass and some of the gravel, and we can roll them down into the water's edge. When you roll that in there, the tires float, so it keeps everything somewhat level or level for the most part. Unhook the cart off of it, and that's the wheelchair chariot or kayak chariot from Creating Ability. It's Kevin Carr up in Minnesota makes those, and some other items that we use, like the paddle adaptations that I had mentioned, and a transfer bench that makes it easier for somebody to get in and out of the kayak. And that's the biggest thing, is just a matter of knowing where to find these things.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's not the easiest thing to track down and find. It's kind of like a specialty item, so to speak.
It is, and they can be costly at that also. So, we've got it that we use during our clinics, and if somebody needs something on a one-on-one basis, if I'm free, I'm always happy to do that. We need to work out something to where they can borrow it. That's been, something that we've done in the past as well.
Heck yeah, man. Matthew Spencer's in the chat. He said Mike has truly been an honor to work with as a director and a good friend. He will help anyone with anything he can. And then he had another great one in here too, because I screwed up Robert's last name, and he said Bobby is just a weaker angler than Mike.
I'm not going to touch it on it.
So there's a little battle going on there, which is great. But
we call him Big Bass Bobby, and that way you don't have to worry about if he's a wiker or a weaker.
Yeah. Nicholas Beltran's in the chat. He says kayaking making a difference once again. No such thing as being limited. No excuse. I love it,
There
dude.
you go. There you go. And that's one of the things I really like about New Canoe also. It's with the hashtag unlimited or
Hmm.
unlimit yourself.
Hmm.
I've adopted that for myself. I mean, it's the sky's the limit. You just got to force yourself to get out there and to do it. And once you get on that water, there are no obstacles. You can go any place that you want to, do anything that you want, follow somebody or lead the way. It's once you've launched, everybody's eating.
That's cool. That's cool. Jeff Luckett said the paddling clinics are great to volunteer to help out when you can. Always a rewarding day. I can
Yeah,
only
no,
imagine, man. I've helped out with one veterans tournament recently, man, and just to see the smile on those guys' faces getting out. I mean, I'm sure it's the same exact thing with you guys as well.
oh, it is, and that's what keeps you coming back.
Yeah.
Josh actually, he's come out and volunteered at quite a few of our clinics, and it's always good to see him. He's got that everybody smiles look on his face all the time, and it rubs off. Real contagious, or
That's
it's just plain goofy, depending on however you want to look at it.
oh, that's
And
funny.
that's what I try to be.
That's cool. But the nice thing too, and I'll pull this picture up because this was something I was thinking about when you had sent me all this stuff to discuss tonight. Our boats can go tandem. So,
Mhm.
if a person doesn't feel comfortable, they can always have a second person in the boat, which I never really thought about. That's kind of cool. Like somebody doesn't feel comfortable the first time, you could put somebody in the boat with them and then, get them comfortable and then send them out on their own.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we've done here. This young man wasn't ready to paddle, but he wanted to experience what everybody else was. So this is a seat that we've made up with some armrests
Yeah, I
for
noticed that.
somebody who didn't have stability. They could use those to hold on to.
Okay.
It worked out well for him. He was able to be taken out during the clinic, and before the end of the day, he wanted a paddle, so we got him a paddle, and he was helping while he was at it. So it's a real good thing if somebody just wants to go for a ride and experience it, or if they want to get out there and try to paddle. It works really well.
Those are slick little handles, man. Or
Yeah,
armrest.
I'd like to take the credit for those, but I can't. Those Robbie was an engineer at New Canoe. He whipped those up and put them on there, and I've done a little bit of tweaking since, but he did a really good job on those.
That's cool. I like that, man. That's super sweet. So, if somebody was out there, and wanted to give it a go, I mean, what would be the best advice you could give them? Somebody that may, use a wheelchair, or, may not be comfortable or have a certain, disability or something along those lines, and they wanted to get in a kayak or get out on the water. I mean, what would you recommend to them?
Well, the first thing I would do, I'd recommend to come find us on Facebook at Disabled Kayaking Enthusiasts. We've got members all over the country and all over the world. I was surprised we've got a real big following in the UK, Australia as well. And so a lot of times we can have somebody post up, hey, this is where I'm at. How do I get into this? Just like we do with people wanting to get into fishing a kayak tournament. It's all the easiest ways to find somebody in your local area, and whether it be a program or an individual, get with them, get out on the water. Um, Obviously, before you do, discuss what type of adaptations or concerns that they might have. It's a sport that, I mean, Brian, as well as I do. Yeah, we want to be the guy winning all the time. So you would think you don't want to have a whole lot more people there,
Yeah,
but we can't help but share it with everybody because we know how much we love it and that somebody
sure.
else will. So I'm excited about sharing it with somebody. And I know if somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, can we try to get into this sport, or can you help us out with it?" We're going to. And I think that's pretty much global.
That's cool, because that was going to be my next question is, are there people across the nation? Is it kind of more geared towards your area? And I just dropped the link to the Facebook group. So if somebody you know or you yourself want to join that group and get in there and get involved, the link is down in the chat. But that's super cool, man. I dig that, that it's kind of spread across the globe, that's something to be said, because you started that group, correct?
I did. I want to say probably about 3 years ago. I'd have to go back and look, but well, probably even longer ago than that. You get to be my age, everything was just
I hear you, man.
But no, it's something that we've had up and running, and just because I wasn't able to find any information on it, so I figured if nothing else, we'd come out with a clearinghouse of information. And
That's super cool.
What we can do to disseminate the word and get it out there. But yeah, I mean, it's not like, for me, kayaking, the first thing I think of is fishing. But there's an awful lot of people out there that don't care at all about picking up a fishing rod. They just want to get out on the water and just go paddle for, I can't, what's the word that people exercise? I don't understand.
What's that? What's that?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I like to eat a donut while I'm running my XI3 with the remote control on a trolling motor. But, they like to just go out and see the sights, see the scenery, take pictures and that sort of thing. And, so it's not just a fishing thing. And yeah, it's global.
That's cool, man. I just dropped the links to some of these adaptive equipment things you had sent me as well. So if you guys are interested in, like, getting some of this stuff to help get you out on the water, Mike was gracious enough to provide me with all these links. So I'm gonna drop them down here, and it'll be in all the show notes as well. If it helps you guys out, check it out. But it's super cool, man. I love it. And you're a hunter as well. So are you using your kayak to get out and hunt?
It is something that we have done for scouting.
Okay.
Turkeys is the main thing. And one of the things that I won't say where, but we've discovered while fishing quite a bit of public land area that holds deer that nobody would, I mean, I've never seen anybody on, and you've got to have a boat to get to these islands. And it's amazing. So I've been laid up with a bunch of surgery this year, so I won't be hunting this year. But we do have a plan to hit a couple of islands that are local to here, where when we're fishing, we see deer cross back and forth from the mainland to the islands all the time.
That's cool.
They see kayaks all the time, so they don't care. They don't even think about them. So I think it's going to be the ultimate put a sneak, vehicle.
I like it. I need to come hunt in Tennessee with you, my friend.
We don't have big deer, but we've got plenty of them.
Hey, that's all that matters, man. Meat in the freezer, my friend. Meat in the freezer.
If that's your goal, we can definitely help you out with that.
I like it. So I know I had the kayak shop I work with up here in the north. We had a gentleman, similar situation as yourself, and he was talking about doing, like, couple day camping trips on the water and stuff. And he ended up getting in a new canoe, and the big thing that he liked about it was the fact that, like, he could transport his wheelchair, so when he got to where he was going, he can get out, transfer around, and things like that. I mean, that's something that I always thought was super cool. With our open deck platform, I mean, you can haul so much stuff. So it sounds just like a great thing for folks in that situation.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree with that. That's one of the things that I've looked at. my pursuit is actually almost wide enough for my chair to sit in without breaking it down. But for those that don't know, the rear wheels pop off of a typical wheelchair very easily. They're on a quick release axle. So you just pop them off. You can lay them down, fold everything up. But yeah, you've got plenty of room that you could do a camping trip, pack everything out and still have room for that. I've always thought I was going to take my chair with me when I go fishing, but then I'm like, why?
Sure.
I can't roll in the water. And, my luck would be the one time that I wound up flipping it. And that's not something I want to risk losing. But
sure.
Yeah, there's definitely, if you wanted to do a multi-day trip, absolutely. There's plenty of room for it.
That's super cool, man. Super cool. So, changing topics, you're the regional director for what is it, Tennessee and Kentucky, correct?
Yes, sir. Central region, which consists of Tennessee and Kentucky.
According to Matt Gibson, the Great Lakes region is considered the region. So I'm just throwing that out there because I'm throwing him under the bus right now. So you guys can throw down over that.
But I'm not here to tear people down.
Trust me, he needs it once in a while, Mike. He needs it once in a while. He's got a little bit of an ego, my friend.
Well, I was just going to say, we refer to it as the region because it's already that's the region again.
Yeah.
There's always something going on, a little bit of question.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Tell Matt that, yep, it's the region, all right. I'll be nice to him. We'll tear him down.
Nice. Mapping for Catfish says he's got a 2022 Unlimited Patrol Blue on order with his local dealer. Can't wait. Currently has a Frontier 12. I like
that Patrol Blue is a popular color.
Yeah. Yeah, I know when I first saw it last year, or was it the beginning of this year? I think it was. I was like, man, that's really sharp. That's really sharp, and it's really caught on. I'm glad they changed the Bulldog over to the Patrol Blue. I like that color.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's one of the things, like, as being a regional director, I've got to do my best to help out with all of our dealers in the area. And it's what type of model should they have, or colors that are popular, and that sort of thing. And so I sort of serve as an interface with that. And I can, I've got to be able to get a feel for it. And I can see that the Patrol Blue is coming on. There's a lot of people upset, about the change with the Bulldog.
Sure.
But when they see what we've replaced them with, they definitely like it. The blue, I think, really pops on the water, so they like it.
Yeah, no doubt. So I mean, your region there, man. What are some of like the team members kind of, and some dealers that you guys work with down in that area?
We've got a really good team here. We're doing some restructuring right now, but we've got some good sticks on it. We've got who I refer to as my little pit bull. That's Matthew Spencer, just because whatever I need done, man, he's always there to jump up and jump on it. Ron Himmelhaver, if you want to get into anything catfishing as well as bass fishing, he can help you out. On the national tournament team, we've got Chuck Miser. Going out, we've got Stephen Johnson, who does some amazing content. Jimmy's actually down in Alabama, Jimmy Skinner, but I kind of stole him and wanted to bring him up to our region because he's just a phenomenal guy. He works with one of our biggest dealers here, the only one in the Nashville area, which is Music City Outdoors. Big shout out to them. I want to be nice to them because that's where I'm going to go pick up my Unlimited soon. I think I got a plate there waiting for me now, but no, they're really good people to deal with. Some of the other big ones that we've got here, like Steven, he's with Frontier Outdoors over in the East Tennessee side. We stretch it over to West Tennessee is S.Y. Wilson and Company. David Best and them do real good for taking care of customers there. I've got Kenny Ratliff up in Kentucky. We've got a good team and it keeps us busy. We're spread out, but per capita, Tennessee is actually one of the largest KBF and bass fishing states that there is, which just blew me away when I looked at that on the map. But we're kind of the center of the hub with just a bunch of spokes radiating out to the other surrounding areas.
Yeah, no, for sure. And, I know you guys have, what is it, Cats, kayak anglers at Tennessee, and then they have kind of like smaller tournament series kind of spread out throughout the state down there, correct?
Oh, we've got a lot of different clubs. There's Clarksville area, which is going to be Middle North, KBFTN, which is the group that I fish with, and New Canoe does quite a bit with, right here in Central and Nashville area. Out to the west, there's West Tennessee Bass Yackers, I think, or Bass Kayakers. We've got them all throughout the state: Kentucky, East Tennessee, Virginia. There are several clubs. I'm going to say many clubs.
Yeah.
And it's tough to keep up with them, but some do catfish, some do bass. And I'm thinking we need to start a kayak hunting club. I haven't figured out how to pull that one off, but I think that's the next thing that we need to look at.
I like the way you think, my friend. I like the way you think. I'd get in on that action in a heartbeat.
Well, we're not in the best area for duck hunting.
Sure.
I absolutely love to do that. It's one of the things that I'm going to be setting my Unlimited up. I'm hopefully getting it in the Mossy Oak Shadowgrass, the limited edition.
Yeah.
And so hopefully that's going to be the color that I'm able to get. But to be able to set it up and just do a cast and blast and do that as a group, I think that'd be good.
Heck yeah.
Turkey, find them coming down to the shoreline. Why not?
Heck yeah, man. Well, anytime you want to come up to the Mississippi Flyway, the door is always open, my friend.
I might take you up on that, but I don't know. You're a little too far north, and everything that goes north, that means I get cold.
Well, you'd be pretty cold because it's supposed to get down to I think it's like 27 degrees tonight and a high of 46 tomorrow. So it's coming. Fall's here.
Yeah.
And
I can deal with that. I'm a Florida boy and I got thin blood, but that I could probably deal with. But I know the best duck hunting that we've got here in Tennessee is right around the end of December, beginning of January.
Yeah, as they're moving to
0 to 35.
Okay.
And that's pushing it for me. But if I'm in a blind with a heater, I'm okay.
There you go. Just throw the Mr. Buddy underneath your kayak blind.
Yeah,
just don't melt the plastic.
Doing a plastic boat. Yeah, just open flame and leaky material doesn't sound like a good combination.
That's funny. So I do this to every regional director. Who's your favorite team member in your region?
The ones that turn in their activity report.
That's a good answer. Good answer. Yeah, now I'm gonna get a text message saying where's yours.
What's that?
I said now I'm gonna get a text message reminding me that mine is due.
Yeah. Get those reports in.
Yeah.
No, I don't play favorites. They're all good. They all excel in their own unique ways, and that's what I love about it. It's a diverse team. It's a great bunch of people that make up our family. So that's like asking, who's your favorite kid?
Matthew Spencer says, "Well, dang, looks like we need a new regional director."
Hey.
No, I always throw that out there, and you guys always say the same thing.
Throw your name in the hat, Matt.
But no, man, it's super cool. I'll leave the floor open to you, man, as we wind down. Any last topics you want to touch on, things you want to throw out there, any of that good stuff, my friend?
Okay, leave it wide open to me. Biggest thing, I guess, on anybody out there with a disability that's interested in kayaking, you got to try it. If it's an interest at all, try it. Get in touch with a local sports group. in your area, or there's plenty of groups on Facebook that are disability related, sports related. You reach out to somebody and they'll know somebody who does it. Find me on Facebook. I'll help out any way that I can. Anybody else wanting to get into kayaking, and period. The biggest reason that I like the NU Canoe and why I think everybody else does, wide open deck. I can arrange it any way that I want to. The cup holder is not where an engineer thought it would be best. It's where I put it. Big shout out to Yak Gadget on that one, by the way, using all of his stuff to be able to set the kayak up the way that I want to is a big help. I'm actually using his phone holder right now to hold my phone.
Nice. Which one you got?
The phone holder.
The new one?
No, this would be the original.
Okay, right on.
I'd show you, but it's holding my phone.
No worries. You're good. You're good.
In the kayak and anywhere and everywhere else, it works real well. But that's actually one of the things that I absolutely loved about kayaking too. When I first got into it, I'm a real big DIY guy. Okay. Man, if y'all like crafts and doing things and trying to come up with a problem, troubleshoot it, and make something, get into kayak.
No doubt.
We reinvent everything. My biggest thing was I made all of my 1.5 inch ram balls. I made them. I figured out how to make them out of golf balls, and they were just rock solid. So and I like stuff like that. But bottom line, get out there and try it. Get linked up with some people in your area. You don't have to go buy one to try it. Find a local club. I'm sure that there are local paddling clubs, just like there's local fishing clubs. Everybody's going to be excited to share what they have. Hit them up, ask them about it, and get out there and try it. But I warn you, it's addicting.
Yeah. I like it, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time tonight and share your story and the good word, man, and what you do and how you do it. It's super cool that we got, guys like yourself that make things happen for other people, which is super cool.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to get on here and tell people about it.
Anytime, man. Anytime. Everybody go follow Mike. If you got any questions regarding any of the stuff he talked about tonight, feel free to reach out to him. You can find him on Facebook. Are you on the old Instagrams too?
Yeah, I do Instagram. It's Jägermeister.
That's right.
Jägermeister.
So do you like Jägermeister?
I might.
Oh.
There's actually, if you read the history or the meaning behind the label on Jägermeister, it tells a really neat story, and I'll leave it at that. But I used to be a hunt master for a large national organization, and so I took it upon me to go out and set people up and to help people and to help hunt, help the environment, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I like drinking Jägermeister, and it goes along with the story of it and playing a role as a hunt master. So yeah, I just kind of adopted that. That's cool.
I like it. I also dropped a video in the chat, guys. It's a link to it's kind of like a background on Mike's story and how he got into kayaking and stuff. I highly recommend watching it. It's really well put together, and it tells a great story of what Mike's been through, what he does, and how he found the kayak, and what it does for him just being on the water. So definitely go check that out. It's called Freedom, the Mike Schmitz story over on YouTube. So Mike, thank you again for taking the time to share the good word tonight. I appreciate you. Any of you guys or gals that tuned in late, you could always go back, rewatch on Facebook, YouTube. This gets uploaded to the good old podcast platforms right after we jump off here. So it'll be live within the next hour or so. So feel free to listen on your ride to work while you're out on the water or whatever it may be. So Mike, I appreciate it again. Thank you so much, my friend. Everybody
Absolutely.
else, we will see you next week. We got another epic guest lined up. You won't want to miss that one either. Everybody that dropped in the comments, appreciate it. And we will see you guys next Tuesday night, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 5 o'clock on the West Coast. Till next time, tight lines, smooth paddling. Peace.